Well, hello and welcome to Jamie TV. Thank you very much for joining me. Hello Semtex, hi Samuel, hi Jade, hi Matthias. Thanks very much for being here so that I don't have to chiptune alone. That was a piece that I've been working on in my Patreon streams, right? So every week I do a Patreon stream where I work on some music and we have a coffee and we have a chat and have a laugh. And so recently I've been working on some music that will be appropriate for horror games. Kind of what I've got in mind at the moment is sci-fi horror games. So what I'm working on, that's the main theme. I'm thinking like a title screen, and then I'm working on some sort of background atmosphere, in-game music. There's a main piece that will incorporate all the different elements of music that I'm working on for it, and we're going to have a battle theme / boss battle kind of a, because I mean in a sci-fi horror game you don't really have a boss level as such maybe, but there's going to be it's going to need some conflict music, right? So thanks very much for that, Matthias. I intend to run an ad about halfway through the stream, so please keep reminding me. You know what my memory's like these days. So thanks very much for that. Right, okay, so, but what we're actually gathered here today for is to make some chiptune music. So last week I started for the first time ever, because a live stream on YouTube in front of people is obviously the most sensible time to try out something new. So last week I started working on a piece of chiptune music. And at first I was a bit not sure exactly what direction I was going to go, but by the end of it I decided I was making a piece of music that could be for a shoot 'em up game for the Commodore 64. So we're talking, SID chip sounds, we're talking 3 instruments and a bit of percussion. I've actually got 2 bits of percussion. It's a slight cheat, but it's pretty much in keeping. Now, I need to talk to some developers at some point. I really need to make some connections because there are plenty. Hey, Audible, thanks for joining us. There are plenty of developers who are actually still making games for the Commodore 64, believe it or not. You can run them in emulators, you can run them on a proper old machine if you still have one that works. And then there's other Commodore 64 emulators, like actual physical stuff like I showed you last week, that you can run them on. So it would be nice to get in touch with the developer and say, how long a piece of music would you need, and do I need to stick rigidly with what the C64 could do at the time, etc., etc. Because I want to feel that what I'm making is appropriate for the coders to work with. So let's just go over to this view over here, and I'll shut down my YouTube. Oh yeah, and what I forgot to mention was that piece, you can hear it on Bandcamp. As you can see, there's a video ready. I've not made it live yet, but I'll be doing that either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So the video will be made live for your viewing and listening pleasure, and it will be released to streaming services on the 16th, which is a week on Sunday. This Sunday coming, I've got Motormania being released to streaming services. And again, you can hear that already on Bandcamp, and you can watch the video on YouTube. So please do check out all of my stuff and give me lots of love and attention because I'm a musician and that's what we're like. Oh, thank you. Yes, thanks, Paul. Thanks for joining us. Yes, it was my birthday on Sunday, so I'm now 53. And for my birthday, I got lots of pops, which I haven't made room for in the studio yet. So they're not in here yet. I need to have a bit of a shift around. I got loads of pops, and I got some coffee and some sweets. Lots of sweets, and a couple of cakes as well. So that's pretty much what I wanted. So what we'll do is we'll have a listen to what I have so far. Now, I couldn't help myself. I had a bit of time before I started the stream, and I added a bit. So this here, this chunk and this chunk up to here, this is what I got done in the stream last week. And then while I was sort of titting about waiting to start the stream, I had an idea, and I thought, I could do that in the stream, that sounds really good. I could pretend like I was just coming up with it on the spot. But that's just not me. I'm just not like that. So there's a new bit, right? And so now I need another new bit to come after that new bit. So while we play this, I'm going to see if I can think of an idea of what to do next. So let's have a listen to what I have, and then we'll carry on from there. Alright, and so I have it set at the moment so it loops back round. So yeah, so that's the new bit, right? And I need another new bit to come after. Hey Leela, thanks for being here. And I've kind of had an idea. I kind of like, right, the arpeggio. I really, really like it, but it doesn't stand out of the mix particularly. I think it might be nice to have a section where that is kind of the feature. I mean, this. Right. Now, you might have noticed that I've added another instrument track, and I did say I was going to stick to 3 instruments plus percussion. But all that is when I was working on this section, I didn't want it to arpeggiate. And I tried to automate switching off the arpeggiator in BA1, and unfortunately, it seems you can't do that. So, I mean, if I was coding this this arpeggio into a C64, then I would be putting all the individual notes in. I'm just kind of cheating really by using an arpeggiator. So this effectively is the same instrument. It counts as one. So there. Right. So when we get to here, we go from, let me just solo these 2 tracks. Arpeggiated version. Right, single note version. Right, so what I did here was, first thing I came up with here was the bass line for this bit. And then I thought, what I'd like to do with this sound is to play a 5th above. And then I just added this as a melody over the top. And then when we get to the end of this bit, this the instrument that is playing that melody there changes tactics, and it just plays a 3rd harmony to the bass line. Right, which I thought was quite clever. I was quite pleased with myself when I did that. So I've kind of got an idea. What if we keep this arpeggio? And one thing that I liked about the bass sound actually that I'm using here is, let's arm that track and just is that it worked really, really well for these octave bass runs, which I can't play. Right, but also if you just hold down the note, it sounds fantastic as like a drone bass. So, idea. Let's copy this and this. And we'll paste it in over here after the new section. Paste it there. I'll mute the bass, right? So the arpeggio will come in. Take loop off. And we'll have a drone bass underneath it instead of the punchy fast bass. Right, so what we will do is go into, take select off and go into this bass. Right, lot of notes. So for each bar, I will select all the notes except for the very first one and delete them. think this is the quickest way to do this. It may not be. Later on, I may just have a little epiphany and think, oh, if only I'd done it that way, that would have been quicker and slicker, and much more appropriate way to approach it in a live stream when people are watching and you don't want them to get bored. But right now, this seems like the correct approach. So I'll just crack on with it as quickly as I can. I've been watching some videos actually about people who actually make music using the Commodore 64 as an instrument, and that is quite fascinating. It made me want to own one again. Actually, there's this thing you can do where you put a cartridge in the back of the machine, and it's got like a MIDI input on it. So you load up some software that comes with the cartridge, and you can plug a controller keyboard into the cartridge in the back of the C64, and then you can play the SID chip. And and it just sounded fantastic in all the videos I was watching. Now, I know, like, you can get things that emulate that. You could do that without owning the old hardware. But, there's something nice about having old things, having the hardware. Anyway, right, so I'm going to double click here to select all of these tiny little notes. And then I just need to grab one of them. If I make this snap to bar, and now they should all be nice and big. There we are. Right, so now let's have a listen at that, which we could do if I didn't have that muted. There we go. Right, okay, that's cool. I like that. Does it work after this run? All right, pretty happy with that. I wonder if that's going to look... No, we'll look at that in a bit. Right, I'll not get ahead of myself. So the drums, maybe the drums should go like half time here. So what are the drums doing before that? That's the hi-hat, you idiot. Right, okay. So if we have them kind of go to like half that speed, I'm going to make a little loop for one bar here. And there we go. We'll create a kick drum part. There we are. And maybe go, hi Del, thanks for joining us, man. Hope you're well and groovy. Now then, what note was I playing that kick on? Because it's important that it's consistent. That's an E1. Okay. Right, we'll go back here. Down to E1. Make some random chiptune sounds. There we go. And maybe if I go to quarter notes, and I think I want it to be like this. I think that's going to be Yeah, that's it. Okay, just solo that kick for a moment. Yeah, that's it. Right, for now, I'm just going to copy that right across this section. Like that. Right, okay, I'm liking that. Now, what else do we need in this section? We're going to need a melody in it, and maybe the hats, maybe bring the hats in halfway through, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, like Sam says, MIDI can now be stretched in Cubasis for easy half time. That's right. And I could do that with this, but I want the arpeggio to stay the same speed, I think. So, right, what's the hat going to do? I have no idea. Let's have a little play. I think something simple like that. And that's going to come in halfway through. So where is halfway through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there. That's right, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Now, what note was I playing the hat on? Does it matter if the hat's that consistent? I'm not sure. I think I want to do it on the same note. That's a G2. So, that's the thing. If I'm using this... oh, it's there. Yeah, I can use this. Right, let's have a go at that. This seemed very quiet to me, but let's just get it tidied up. Then we'll have a look at why. Oh, take drawer off. Stupid hippie. They're like max volume. Anyway, what's my playing like? Rate my playing. No, I mean, honestly. I mean, you won't upset me. If I go to 16s, most of it looks fairly close. Let's, because I think that will be 16s. Right, so we'll go here and put yeah, it's on 16s. Strength 100%, and quantize that. Right, let's have a listen to that and make sure that that is correct. Solo that. Ten out of 2. All right, sounds right. Close enough. And with the track. Yeah, it's going to have to be a bit louder in it. Turn that up a little bit. Now, why didn't the arpeggios fire there? What's that about? And hats. Alright, simple as hell, but I like that. I think that works really well. So I'm not going to sweat it. I'm just going to see if I can find a melody for it. Actually, at this point, I want to know, is this going to loop back into the main section, or are we going to go to the this new section? Let's play the last bit of this and loop it back to the beginning of the track and see if it seems to work. Yeah, might need some kind of a fill, some kind of a build, but it works musically, I believe. But what about if it went back to this section? I think I like that better. So I might have new halftime section, then other new bit, then back into the main body of the track. I think that might work. We shall see. So I need a melody. So we'll have a little tinker. Actually, I believe it's time to run an ad. So if you are a YouTube Premium person, you won't get an ad. If you're not, you'll get a fascinating ad, right? That will be geared purely and perfectly to you and your needs. So basically, I'm doing this for you. Go and watch an ad, and when you come back to the chat, just let us know, what was the ad? What did they feed you? Right, so I'm going to just have a little tinker while some of you are watching ads, because I need to find a little melody for this bit. Better arm this track then, hadn't I? Okay. Oh, I like that one. Can chip music be moody? I would hope so. I would hope so. I'm going to do my damnedest. Right, so hang on, what did we get? Right, so hemorrhoid cream. That's never right audible. Come on. Okay. I'm thinking something like this. have a tendency to try and find something more, something a bit more complex, something a bit cleverer. But, simplicity seems to be key with this stuff. I like that when that lands on an E. What if it landed followed by landing on a D? Let's try it. Terrible. Okay, I've got two bits that don't suck. That's a bit cheesy, isn't it? I love what that does when you just hold down the note. That's great. I should mention, by the way, just in case any of you weren't watching last week, the sounds that I'm using are from Baby Audio's new Chiptune preset pack. And so there's like 3 cartridges, if you like, of different presets. And I was looking through those presets and I just homed in on the fact that a few of them were labelled C64 and did in fact sound very SID chippy. So I thought, well, if I can utilise the ones that are specifically labelled C64, then it should be very in keeping with Commodore sounds without me having to sort of, make any effort really, which is nice. Because sometimes, like, when you're working on music, when you're trying to compose, to put a sort of a bit of a pompous name to it, and I just think of it as making shit open up, and it sounds alright, to be honest. But you don't want to be bothered with like looking through a million presets, because then, like, by the time you've done that, it's time to go and have dinner and feed the cats and shit like that. What was that other one I did? That sounds better if it lands on an A, I think. What about with the track? Maybe a higher E. Right, hang on. Can I play this an octave lower? I believe I can. So I go up an octave. Okay, right. Keyboard wizard. I had difficulty finding E there. But yeah, I think that works. Maybe I should use the modulation stick a bit. Yeah, that might be nice, okay. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Yeah, okay. So, in Sweden, you had to pick a side, metal or synth. It was pretty much like that here when I was a teenager. I liked a lot of music that wasn't metal and just didn't say anything because, because I was listening to metal bands and You didn't just say, actually that new song by Erasure, it's actually really quite clever. You didn't do that. But obviously I thought that because I now own an RX-11. Because I never forgot how good the drums sound on those records. Right, okay, let's try and put something down, and I'll try and play something that doesn't suck massively. Ooh, take loop off, and yes. And I think it can just do that twice, I think we can just do that twice, and I think it'll be okay. I think everything will be cool and groovy and okay with the world. Let's just have a listen to what I did. Rate my keyboard playing. Right, yeah, needs tidying up a little bit, but but I like that. I think that works, and I'm not bothered about the fact that it's not particularly over complex or anything. Very, very simple. So let's just see if we can tidy it up nice and quickly by going. Will 16s be okay? Let's see. Right, there's an early note there. Yeah, that one. That's the offender. That's it. Right, okay, that's much better. Okay, now what I'm going to do also is just select everything and even out the volumes on these notes. Now I'm not sure now. I'm not sure now that melody works as well as I expected it to over the second bunch of chords. I need to hear that again. Right, it needs to climb. I think probably the same notes, but I think we need to not be going lower on those notes I'm holding down. So what about maybe move that up to an E? Let's try that. Move Y-axis. Move that up to an E. Right, yeah, it wants to be higher now. Right, okay, so oh, I didn't want to do that, did I? Right, select these. The joys of a touchscreen interface. Right, let's bang this up to an F. What's that like in context? Let's try a C for that, I think. Yeah, Audible, yeah, Cubasis does have transpose, but, you know, sometimes I just like to drag things around, I just like kind of getting my fingers into the music and just dragging things around. Right, maybe the F might sound a bit more challenging there. Yeah, it does. It does. And then, let's see, now for the end. Maybe the whole thing should climb to what would be. Well, I don't think we want to go quite dog whistle. Maybe the higher C. Let's try moving that first. And then. Oh, I kind of like that actually. I was going to move these. I don't know about the high C, it's a bit squeaky. Try the G. What are we doing there? Oh, I know. Pitch bend it up massively. No, like wouldn't it be nice if it just did that? If it just merged the MIDI right away, especially when you're like in the MIDI editing. This is what I want. Like that. To merge it in, you have to kind of go like this, select both bits, and then glue them like that. which I think is a bit sucky, to be honest. Right, okay. Then, after that, then it's going to go back into this section, I think. Let's select all of this. You have to press select then, stupid hippie. And grab all them, copy that, and then stick this there. And now let's just check how long this is here. I was listening to an interview with Rob Hubbard earlier, the guy who did loads of the big, well-known tunes. Sam knows who I'm talking about, for the C64 back in the day. And in this interview, he was saying that he would make a piece for a Commodore 64 game as long as he possibly could. But that depended on how much memory they allowed him to use. So he had to know how much memory the piece was going to use, but that was okay for Rob because he was coding the music, so he would know. But he would basically take all the memory that he was allowed and make the piece as long as he could before it looped around, because he was frightened of gamers getting sick of his music playing over and over in the game. So, right. That starts at 22 seconds right, so it's about roughly 2.5 minutes at that. So if it looped there, after that bit, right, so that works. That's okay. Maybe we could double up this section. Just add a bit of, a bit of something extra. So let's see now. I already copied and pasted that, didn't I? So I could maybe just paste another. Yeah. And maybe change an element of it. Maybe this melody that goes over it. Oh, I forgot something actually. I want to do something with the drums at the end of this section, don't I? So here. Right, okay, now I'm already cheating by having 2 drum sounds rather than the one. The only thing I can do to create some kind of a fill is just repetitions on maybe the kick, perhaps. Let's loop these last couple of bars here. Right, it'd be easier to do it like this. Loop the last couple of bars, and we'll go in and tit about with this kick here. I'm going to just glue these 2 kick drum bits together. There. Right. We'll pissy pants around with that. Would this work? Is this going to be too much? So what if I went like this? Idea. That's wrong, isn't it? That's it. What about this? Right, okay. Does the hi-hat part work with that? I think it could just do a little more. What if it went like that? Yeah, okay, right. I like that. Right. So that takes care of the fill into that section. And then I just was thinking that maybe I would alter this melody here so that it's just different from the one before. Right, okay, so select these and mute them. Where are we for time? Right, I've got a couple of minutes before I want to do a playthrough. What did I even play there? I played you know what? Instead of muting these, let's just have a little play with them. A. Maybe take that one an octave up. Right, okay. Well, I may adjust that a little further. I'm not 100% happy with that, but we're pretty close. I mean, the track we could call almost finished, I think, really. From here, I'm not really sure, right? Because obviously, if this was actually part of a Commodore 64 game, part of the program, then, you know, I wouldn't be able to, like, use fantastic EQ on it or delay and reverb, really. So not really quite sure about the finishing off process for this. I'll have a little further tit about with it and a think and a piss pants around. But this is close and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking it. So at this point, I have to say thank you very, very much for joining me today, so that I did not have to chiptune alone. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate your support. And if you enjoyed, you know, the piece that I played at the beginning of the stream, that's the kind of thing I'm getting up to at the moment on my Patreon account. So if you fancy, you know, checking out more of that stuff, then join my Patreon. You can join it for as little as, you know, £1 a fortnight, and we do have a laugh on there. All right, so thanks for being here today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Try not to piss pants about. I will play you out with this C64 chiptune city type thing. See ya.